Hey, you guys, welcome to the channel and happy Valentine's Day for those of you who celebrate Valentine's Day. So today I'm doing a really fun, quick cartoon illustration of I don't know if I should tell you guys. It's pretty silly. Basically, it's right up my alley. So, um, I'm doing this video because XP Pen had sent me a wonderful small little tablet, a 12-inch artist series, part of their artist series, and I reviewed it on this channel actually a few videos back. If you want to check that, it's in the description below. And I enjoyed it. It's their second generation tablet, and they they sent it over and said, hey, do a couple fun little illustrations and see what you think. I enjoyed the tablet, so I figured I'll do a seasonal illustration similar to the one I did back in Halloween, and I also did one for Christmas, but this time I kind of switched it up for Valentine's Day. So without further ado, we're going to do time lapse today just because I don't want this video to be too long. So enjoy the narration and the storytelling and the music. So let's get to it.
So, here we go. So I love Valentine's Day. I think that it's up there with, your minor holidays, what am I doing? I'm getting a corgi. Oh. So what I'm doing is I'm doing just a really fun. My initial intention was to do a gnome riding a unicorn. And I was going to go ahead and do that, but then, my wife was talking to me and she said, it'd make it really funny if the gnome was riding a corgi. And I thought, you know what? That is freaking hilarious. So you saw me just then go to the internet and pull just a really quick anatomy reference. I've drawn dogs, hundreds of dogs throughout my career, and, I know where anatomy goes, but specific breeds, really, you need reference for them, and that's what I'm doing. Um, my initial video for this was actually going to be narration as I drew and went through the process, but after, at the end of the day, the video was like so long, so I decided not to do that. So if you see me pause and talk a little bit about something just briefly, don't worry about that. I'm just talking about some of the peripherals. A lot of people ask me about that device over on the left-hand side, and I get a lot of people asking me about that. I mean, probably one or two questions per day that features that particular device. As you see, it does have an XP Pen name on it. That is their quick key remote. I purchased that quite a while ago. My first one, yeah, you see I'm explaining it. Uh, my first one I purchased probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I utilized it whenever I had my Surface devices. And it's just an incredible companion because it uses a USB dongle, and they have a driver that you can go in and pre-program the buttons, and it's just wonderful. What happened? What happened there? Oh my gosh! Yeah, I had to switch computers, um, because my Lenovo, one of the ports on it is kind of bad, so inadvertently, whenever I'm working, I'll run out of power, and that really stinks. But going back to the XP Pen remote, um, and that's another benefit of having that. All I did was just take the remote and take the tablet and just plug it right into my Surface Book, and just rolled with it, and it was no problem at all. And you can pre-program that remote on the left-hand side. It's got a scroll wheel for brushes, for zooming, for toggling in between layers. Then you can pre-program the the buttons down there to basically be a macro controller for Photoshop or any other program that you need to have macros for. So that's basically what I'm doing. As you see, I've already sketched out Dust Corgi, and he's my wife looked at him and said he was kind of sad or mean, and I'm like, no, he's just happy. He's jovial. That's a fun word, isn't it? Jovial kind of sounds like a candy. Um, and now I'm putting the gnome on there. My again, being Valentine's Day, I wanted it to be not so frilly-nilly, but seems like a lot of my illustrations have a little bit of edge to them. But whenever I want to do something funny, I definitely want it funny. So I go, as I'm going in and building that particular asset in the illustration, I'm thinking happy, 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 happy. And a lot of times, if you keep repeating that word and you just stick to, those simple visual cues, in character design that denotes happy, such as a smile, eyebrows up, um, stuff like that, then you're not going to have any issues. uh, it's not so much a super, how do I put it? it's a little tongue-in-cheek. That means, I wanted it to be fun, but I didn't want it to be so, saturated with love and Valentine's Day. So this is your hidden, behind the leaf type character. I'd say behind the leaf, behind the magic type character that you find, and he's going around and he's shooting, he's shooting human beings. He's kind of like I guess they're cherubs, maybe the Valentine's Day cherubs that go around. They shoot people with arrows. That kind of makes sense, right? Um, yeah. So that's what he is. And as I go through and I'm talking over, I'm just literally having fun. I'm I've got my little reference shot that you saw a minute ago for the corgi, but now I'm just kind of drawing from my brain. I didn't have any reference for the gnome at all. Um, yeah. You'll see me go up to the keyboard quite a few times because there are some things that I don't have quote unquote macros for. Even though there's 9 quick keys, I didn't have everything pre-programmed in there. So you just can't go without a keyboard, I would say. It's a great companion, like I said, for Surface devices and stuff like that. Um, Now you're seeing me kind of mess around and go back into Photoshop. This illustration took a little while. Probably, let me see. I'd say maybe 2 hours, yeah, hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, somewhere around there. So that's not too bad. Blocking in the color, blocking in the sketch. I'm refining the sketch now. Over there on the right hand side, you see the layers palette come up, and I'll periodically go back to that layers palette because I like to keep everything separated as I progress through. And I'm not getting super tight in the sketch in terms of, wanting to select it. I'm using a textured brush, and I like that very textured quality to the line. And I've got pressure sensitivity on, and I've got up there, I've also got the taper on, so whenever I sketch, it has a very natural feel. The XP pen people really did a good job with that X3 pen, and that's included with the 12-inch Artist Series 2nd Gen. They're really developing great products over there at XP Pen that I think, if you're on a budget and you don't want to go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a tablet, they've got a great selection of stuff over there that can really help you out if you're a novice or if you're a professional on a budget like I am. I've said many, many times that, the reason why I have certain products in my possession is because I'm cheap. And I'm trying to, sometimes that's a horrible, that's kind of like a bad word, being cheap. Yeah, I'm cheap. And a lot of times we take pride in the amount of money that we spend on our products. But on the other hand, if a product does what it's supposed to do and it lasts and it really is a great product and it doesn't inhibit me from creativity, then I'm going to support it, no matter who the brand is. And XP Pen just happens to make really good products and have been improving every single year that they've been around. Currently, I own quite a few of their tablets as well as other brand name tablets in the marketplace. But for this particular video, since XP Pen did provide, we're going to focus on that 12-incher. My main, and I do have a review of the 24-inch Pro, which I use as my main machine for my professional work. So, whenever I reviewed that product, I was very surprised. Being the 2K model, it's got great resolution, it's got a great color gamut support, and just overall really, really good, um, for professional work. And it doesn't break the bank either. You can get that machine routinely for under $800-900. So compare that to some of the other higher priced machines. Those are thousands of dollars. I couldn't foresee spending that much, even if I had the money. you know. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going and refining the sketch. What you do as an illustrator and artist as you continue world building and character building and doing the things that we do as artists to make a better illustration. I refine the sketch. I might move things, I might change the thickness. I never trace what I did. I'll add things here and there, a wrinkle, a line thickness, and simplify. Sometimes it makes a lot of sense to simplify the drawing underneath, and that's something that needs to be considered as we progress and get better and better, because time, unfortunately, time works against us every single time we work on a piece like this. Or if you're a professional and you know time is always working against you, because the more you spend time on a piece, the less and less money you make on it. And you say, well, I have time to spend 15, 20 hours on a piece, and that's fine, but that amount of money that you're being paid for it, or you're being compensated for, really doesn't change once you've agreed on an amount. So finding those tips and tricks, it's not really tips and tricks, it's just efficiency. You're working in efficiencies, whether you're using specialized brushes, whether you're using that quick key remote on the left hand side, or whatever it is that you use to better, a faster computer, a bigger screen. Um, that's something that you need to consider as you progress through. You see that I do have a lot of brushes, and one of the brushes that really gets a lot of question is the sketch brush. And I've modified that particular brush to suit me. However, the initial brush that I based my brush on is something you can download for free at creatureartteacher.com, and you sign up for the newsletter, and you get Aaron Blaze's Custom Brushes 1, and the brush that you're looking for is Pastel C. And that Pastel C brush is something that Aaron created, and he went in and catered it to himself. And it is a wonderful brush just out of the box. But being an industry professional, being an illustrator, I always like to customize things, and that's what I did. I changed the texture a little bit, and but no means do I take credit for that brush at all. That is Aaron Blaze all the way. So go and download that for free. You just got to sign up for the newsletter, and I believe you get a PDF of how to draw elephants as well, so that's a bonus. So there you go. Now you know where I get the brush. And literally, that's another thing people ask me all the time. Can I have the brush? And I'm like, no, you can't. If you want it, you need to go download it from the source, because I don't feel right about passing that brush on. And, without that little cost to be paid. And basically what Aaron gets is your email address, and he can hit you for, his sales, and he's a great artist as well. Aaron's been around on YouTube for a while. He's got tutorials and a whole class structure that he teaches, from animation to character design to storyboarding. I have no affiliation whatsoever with Aaron. I really respect him as an artist, and I like his heart and his willingness to give. And he has sales to where he sells entire courses for like $1 or $2 or $3. So that's really cool. So how does this particular tablet fare with other tablets? Right now, the tablet is something that I utilize for tutorials only. I don't use it in my professional work at all. The reason why is because the size. I typically work in a very large size, like a 24-inch tablet. And, just the way that I draw and the real estate that I need, from using reference to having multiple windows open, it makes sense for me to have a larger tablet. And this is obviously good for a pinch. Pinch being if I needed to finish something, maybe I'm on the road and I don't need to, haul around a 24-inch tablet. That would be ridiculous, right? This little guy, being 12-inch and a small form factor, and it's got cookies on the side, and it's got great pen. It really fits the bill whenever it comes to that particular need. Now, one of the things that I did notice as I progressed through, and this might be just the way that I have the pen set up, the X3 pen is very sensitive. I like my pen to obviously be sensitive because I want it to work, but what I noticed about this one is right out of the box, it's extremely sensitive, and it goes to maximum pressure very quickly. So to solve that, I just opened up the driver and went in and adjusted the pressure curve. I went back and forth. It took me about 5 minutes to do it, and once I did, everything worked out pretty good. The pen, it doesn't have rubber on it, so it is a little slick to handle, and I understand why they don't have the rubber on there, because again, it is a cheaper tablet. Even with that higher end tech in the pen, there are corners that are cut here and there, and I understand that. I just like rubber on my pen, because obviously I like to be able to hold my pen, because I draw really fast. As you see, I'm flying through this tutorial. I'm just kidding. I'm not really drawing that fast. We're in time lapse. Um, but overall, I mean, it was good. I had some tracking issues. The pen Sometimes, you know, whenever you get near the edge, doesn't track exactly with the end and where the cursor is supposed to be. And that was frustrating, but you know, after a calibration, I ended up fixing that. These are all things that happen when you install a tablet and a new driver. You just have to tune it. It's similar to a guitar. You tune that pen, you tune that tablet to your liking, and then eventually it works out great. I don't know if it was the power consumption because I'm running it. I have that. You have the option of running this particular tablet just solely off the USB-C. But then if you want maximum brightness, which I do, you actually have to plug it into an AC port, and I do. I did, and it comes with a cable to be able to do that. But I think my charger that I was utilizing didn't quite supply all the power, and occasionally the screen went black, and I'm sure that it's because of that that extra power need whenever I have everything hooked up to maximum. And those are pretty much the only issues that I had, other than my Lenovo having some challenges, and then the you know, the PC world. Whenever you have a PC, you guys know that PCs, you got to have drivers, you got to have updates to drivers, and man, it was just one thing after the other. I hadn't used a PC in a while, and you know what happens when that happens? You have about an hour worth of updates, so that was the hiccup. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed doing this particular piece, because they're fun. I mean, who doesn't want to, you know, draw gnomes? I mean, they're great overall, and plus on Valentine's Day. How super cool is that? Now, obviously, I didn't draw this on Valentine's Day, but I did finish it up on Valentine's Day at the video, so it is fresh. It's not like I did it 2 weeks ago or anything like that, but yeah, I just love sitting down and drawing and sketching and having some fun, and you know, teaching you guys about the wonderful world of illustration and art and design, and the business life, and what it's like to be a professional illustrator. Little side note, you know, I don't have the ability to post a video every week because I do have a professional career, and with that comes a lot of time time constraints. So I have deadlines and stuff like that. So whenever I make a video like this, sometimes it takes me 3 days, 4 days to do it. Not the drawing, but just being able to carve out the time, you know, having that balance and stuff like that. So anyway, that's pretty much where I wanted to land in the whole narration, you know, with this. The camera that I'm using, I'm trying out some different cameras that I'm trying to hopefully land on one that will be my go-to. This is a Lumix camera that shoots 4K video. It's got a great capability, but what I'm noticing overall is some of the graininess and low light. So hopefully that won't be too distracting for you guys. But I'm just putting in the highlights now, some of the overlay and color dodging that I'll put in. Again, having that fun, man. There's nothing like sitting down, you know, putting little tunes in the earbuds and drawing. It's kind of like therapy. It's like art therapy. You know, I talk about art being therapeutic and really helps me out overall in being just a better person. And sometimes having those little moments where you know, whether it's bike riding, whether it's taking a walk, whether it's sitting down to draw something by yourself and invest in that, you know, that tool belt, it all makes a difference, trust me.
And here's where I landed up. So, what I do at this stage typically is I'll use the dodge and burn tool over here in the tool palette. Typically I'll go in with a burn and do a really quick start out with the midtones, and maybe I'll push some of the shadows back, and I'll push some of the things. What I'm trying to do is to create contrast in the piece. A lot of times it's around the eyes, possibly under the nose. What I did over here on the right hand side is I have group 1 as my layers, so I actually have it all in layers. And what I do is I copy and paste, and then I get
it to a flat stage, and that's how I can go in and kind of push and pull those values in and out here and there. You know, that's pretty much where I wanted to land today for you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. For those of you that celebrate Valentine's Day. And like for the grass, I'll go in and I'll darken under him. And actually, I'll go to the highlights. Let's do the shadows. Again, to pull some of that dark from underneath him. And he's got that little bit of a shadow right here. And then I'll go back and I'll go to the dodge tool and I'll brighten some of that grass in the foreground. Again, to create contrast and draw your eye and push it a little bit further. And then we'll go back to him. Let's see, and I can adjust my exposure down a little bit. Let's do midtones first, so they're not like jumping out in my face. Yeah, those are pretty good. And the highlights. And you can see pretty quick, you can get a decent fun little illustration, seasonal. Lots of fun. Big shout out to XP Pen for providing this particular tablet. This is the Artist 12 second generation. Did a review on the channel before a little while back. It's a great tablet. Really good size for travel. You know, in a pinch, if you need to go somewhere and you don't want to have a huge workstation, this really works out well. And that's it. So, thank you guys. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and please share the video. Click that notification bell if you want to see more videos, and we'll see you next time. Thank you guys. Bye.